Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. 60 minutes of football fun and banter with Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV. Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble.
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform
or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
This is your host, Chris.
No! God, please, no! No!
I know, I'm sorry, but he's cheap and available.
How rude.
Right, Chris.
All right, good evening, everybody. How the devil are we? As it says there, whichever way, how the devil are we? Welcome along. It is the Brighton Stats Show. We're going to take a quick look at the press conference as well. How are we feeling? You know what? I think signings are like buses. You wait ages for one, and then two of them come along together. If it is true what we are reading, that we've got a bid in for two people. Of course, we all know Victor Christiansen. That's what I like. A player with an easy name to say. Looks set to come to Leicester. We've agreed personal terms. The medical date's been set. It's just finalising it, obviously, with FC Copenhagen. And the good news is that hopefully, within the next few days, I will be doing a show with a Scandinavian journalist, and we will be able to talk. He will go through Victor Christiansen, what he's good at, maybe what he's not so good at, which hopefully isn't much, what his injury situation is like. You know he's going to get injured as soon as Brendan gets his hand on him, don't you? So FC Copenhagen, just agree a price, will you? And apparently we've also, not only, but also put a bid in for Harry Sutar. 10 million to buy the Stoke City defender. Is a towering centre-back, and he's said to be one of the Foxes' main targets in January. Now, I'm all for buying British, and I'm all for buying players from lower leagues because it gives them a chance. Let's be honest with you. Buying lower leagues and lower leagues and non-league players, we've not done so bad. You know, reserve players. Muzzy, is it? Chelsea reserves. Jamie Vardy, conference. So, you know, if we can get this guy for 10 million, it's... We're going to wait and see, because Stoke have apparently turned down the offer. So we will wait and see. I mean, £10 million, it was looking a little bit sort of like, but there we go. 10 million's been put in, 10 million's been rejected. We will see where that one goes. Niall is in. Good evening, Niall. How the devil are you, sir? I'm all right. Hope you are all right as well. Nice of you to join us. What else is happening in the world of Leicester City? Deal is imminent, apparently, on Christiansen. We will see. Brendan had his press conference earlier, obviously, and and he was asked a few questions. One of those was about, does he understand the supporters and their frustration? And what basically he is saying is that I think now that transparency is very important. Now, wasn't it before? I'm going to have to say that I sent an email to Leicester City, to the press department. Let me just see if I can get it up for you. Sent. Where are we here? Not Natasha. Press. Here we go. It was for the attention of Anthony Herreley, who is the press manager. And I've got, dear Anthony, as a 61-year-old fan, I am hoping I have some idea of how these things work. I realise that as a club, you only speak to accredited outlets, and that all the fans get to see is the carefully written and checked press releases and programme notes you want the fans to see. The club has changed over time. I've been following it at no times more so since King Power became involved. I would admit has been very much been for the better since then. But everything this club has become, the club that every other club wanted to be like, the fans, the owners, directors as one, is slowly evaporating away. It goes much deeper than a few boos after a match. As a fans group, I realise I am not accredited and would ask if someone like John Rudkin or Hire were prepared to come on a live show and discuss the fans' questions one-to-one with me. I can promise you it would be professional, blah, blah, blah. And I said then, if I'm honest, I don't expect to reply, or if I get one, a pre-prepared no. Do you know what they said? Absolutely nothing. They've not even had the decency to reply and say no. So transparency apparently is very important, but only when it suits the club. Only if it's the people that they want. Only if it's sort of the press that the press know that if they start asking awkward questions, let's be honest with you, they could get banned. So they will only go so far. Excuse me, I'm in the middle of a cold here. So, you know, it's all yes, though. You can come to the press conference, but you know what you can ask and what you can't ask. They haven't even got the manners. They haven't even got the manners to respond. And that was sent on Monday, and it is now Thursday. I just think that's what's happening at Leicester City. It's changing as a club. And yes, I guess we knew it was going to have to change. But you know, giving us a few beers and cakes, etc. Yeah, it's all very well, but talk to us. Talk to us. You know, we used to be a Leicester City family. Yeah, you know, now it feels like we're all adopted and you don't want us. We'll see what happens. But apparently, Brendan says, and I think that transparency is very important. I have empathy for the supporters. Well, obviously more than the press department do, Brendan, because they couldn't give two fucking shits about us. Has he still kept the same ambition as when he first arrived? We have, he says. Is there any difference between fighting for Europe and fighting relegation? No shit. What a question. You know, I mean, this is the sort of question that journalists are being paid thousands of pounds a year to go and ask. Is there a difference? No shit, Sherlock. Of course there bloody is. Vardy is obviously just going through a bad period, and yeah, all strikers do go through it. He takes stick off me, but he deserves it. He goes on to talk about the coaches. How does he get the supporters on side? Again, you know, it's not exactly difficult. You know, talk to us, include us. Good evening, Sean. How are you, sir? Perez, he played in the Newcastle game and felt a muscle issue. Surprise. Brendan, get your finger out your arse and look, you know, why are all our players getting injured? I know that they're getting injured during the match, but it isn't. It isn't. I mean, are they actually saying, I don't want to play for the club. I don't want to play for Leicester City. I don't want to play for Brendan Rodgers. I'll pretend I'm injured. Is that what it is? Don't know. They won't talk to us, will they? Madison, Hopefully he's going to be in the squad for the weekend. No player, no team is one player, but that's as close as we're going to get. He's expecting exits before the end of the window, and of course the younger players will get loans. We talked about Christensen coming in as competition for Thomas, and now that gets me here, right? Okay, I'm glad you're good, Sean. Brendan Rodgers says here that's the thing we've suffered from. And that's competition. If players are not at the same level, partly it's because of competition. They need someone breathing down their neck to take their shirt. Brendan, then fucking pick them. Because I like Amati, you know that, but no matter how bad he is, he knows Soyuncu's not going to get picked over him. He knows Evans is injured and can't play. Vestergaard is sat on the bench getting splinters out of his arse. Can't be any worse in some of these games. So the competition matter, Brendan, is down to you because you will not pick the players. So, it's more BBS, Brendan's bullshit. I'm sorry, but it is. It is. Sean says he thinks we'll beat Brighton 2-0. Mate, I wish I had your confidence because I don't. But I just gets me. Competition, then pick the bloody players that are sat on the bench doing nothing. I could crush a grape, as somebody much more famous than me once said. Right, let's have a look at this weekend's game. We've got the preview coming up at 9 o'clock, and we've got Chloe. You might remember Chloe, British tea hater. It's all right, Chloe. I've got a coffee here if you're watching. She will be on with myself and Craig at 9 o'clock. And we're having the full preview. So this is just to look at the stats. Again, if you remember from last week, I've changed it slightly. So let me know your thoughts. I've tried not to go through quite as many. So I'm going to do it a little bit a different way. And we're going to do it this way here. So tomorrow, 5 o'clock is when we kick off. This is what this particular company has predicted. And the team-wise, which we'll come to in a second. In the last 6 meetings, as you can see there, Leicester have won more than Brighton. And there's also been a draw in there as well. We'll look at that in a bit more detail in a second. And as you can see, Brighton, and you've got to say well done to Brighton. 7th place, won 9, drawn 3, lost 6, 30 points. Oh, we wish, eh? Leicester 14th. Won 5, drawn 2, lost 12. Bloody hell. 17 points, which obviously is only 2 points off relegation. I'm Rodgers out, Chris. I am Rodgers. Push him out the door and lock it behind him. That's how I am at the moment. They think that it's going to be 4-2-3-1. This is the possible. Let me get it there. This is the possible lineup that they think that we will go for. And you've got to say it probably is because we haven't really got an awful lot of choice. Ward, Thomas, like he said, he can't keep playing Thomas, but who else has he got? Because, James Justin is injured. Ryan Bertrand is injured. And we've got Castagna on the right. Again, no option because Ricardo is injured. Faze and Amati are the 2 centre-backs. They reckon they'll go for. This obviously isn't confirmed. We won't know that till an hour before kickoff. But it's going to be. Now, the thing is, Amati, he's got a mistake in him every game. We know that. Great player. I'd keep him at the club. He's there as sort of, he's definitely, a squad player. Faze at the moment is, what can I say? He's lost his confidence. Let's be honest. He has lost his confidence. And it's a shame, but those 2 own goals, and when he came in, he looked a little bit, like Fofana did when he first came in. He looked like he was in control. He looked like he'd always played in the Premier League. We know Daka and Sumari and those sort, take time to adapt, shall we say. But we know Fofana didn't, whatever we think about him. But Faze, these guys need to be taken out of the firing line. But will he play Soyuncu? Competition, what were you saying, Brendan? And I'm going to quote this so many times that you're going to get bored with me, more so than you usually do. If the players are not at the same level, partly it's because of competition. They need somebody breathing down their neck. So play fucking squad players. Soyuncu, good enough for Atletico Madrid, not good enough for us. You want to give it competition? Yeah, do your bollocks, Brendan. Brendan Bellend. So that's the defence that they think it will be. Then let's have a look. Mendy, yes. We don't. Again, do we need 2 defensive midfielders? Who else again have we got? Kieran Dewsbury Hall injured. Let's just see what they're saying about players coming back. James Maddison couldn't make his injury return this weekend. Back in contention is Kieran Dewsbury Hall. He's not played this year. Wow. It would be nice to have either of them back. Dennis Pratt has trained this week, so he should come into the squad. Well, any chance of playing him, Brendan? Because, we can't. Ndidi and Mendy, 2 defensive midfielders. I don't think you'll do that, but, there we go. And Tielemans, obviously. Barnes, he's got Pratt in there, in fairness. Barnes and Pratt, and, of course, Vardy up front. 4-2-3-1 is what they think that we will play, which is exactly the same as Brighton, with Sanchez in goal, Gross, Dunk, Colwell, and Esther Butan at the back, Colesido, Alistair, and then March, Lallana, Mitoma, and Ferguson up front. We will see how true that is. If we both play that formation, and we do know it's one of Brendan's reasonable favourites, we will score 11 goals. They will score, however, 23. Yes. And most of those, most of the goals that they scored this season did come against Leicester. Average rating of our players, 6.5, 6.8 of the 6.8 for them. All the other information, average age and height there, as you can see. I don't think we need to read that out. Shots per game, 0.7 for us. It is embarrassing. 1 for Brighton. Aerial dual success. They beat us on that, 54% to 46. Dribbles are pretty much the same. And tackles, we do put more tackles in. But maybe that is because we're under pressure so much. And as you can see there, if you're going into the brackets, that is the overall player statistics in the Premier League. But let's have a look at the injuries. Oh, look. There we go. They've got Trossard is questionable. I think he may be back, what I've been hearing. And Jacob Moda is out. And of course, there's also the player that they've fallen out with. I think it is Trossard, isn't it, that they've fallen out with? So it's doubtful that he will be in. Arsenal, Spurs, after him. Their new manager is not having any of it. For us, Justin Pereira, Bertrand, Sumare, and Evans are all injured. Dewsbury Hall, Perez, and Maddison, like we say, could be back. And I'm going to say, Happy New Year, Sean, to you as well. I'm going to give Brighton credit. I really do. I mean, like we say, they sat there in 7th place. And, you know, they lost their manager, a manager that had done very well for them, a manager that was being touted as the next England manager. And as you know, I wasn't particularly impressed. But I have to say, what he was doing at that club over the period of time, I think they would have gone on and he qualified for Europe. He made Graham Potter the decision to go to Chelsea, and I don't blame him for that. These jobs don't come along often. And no disrespect to Brighton, Chelsea was or is a bigger team. Let's be honest with you. He had to go. He struggled at the moment. They got a win the other day, but they are struggling. I thought he was going to be out of a job, but full credit, and I can't think of what the guy's called, but the current manager for Brighton, I mean, he's gone in, and it's been like a seamless transfer. And if anything, they've actually got better under the new manager. So well done to Brighton. They took action, they changed the manager, and look what it's doing. So well done to them. Okay, so team news. Let's have a look what they're saying about the team news. James Justin, Ricardo Pereira, Ryan Bertrand, Samaria, Johnny Evans remain ruled out. Perez, Maddison and Dewsbury Hall didn't feature against Forest last week, but could return against Brighton. Jacob Mulder continues to miss out, but is Brighton's only confirmed absentee. As we said, Trossard, who has been linked with a January move to Arsenal, is unlikely to play again for the club. Roberto De Zerba, now that's the manager's name, could go for an unchanged side against Leicester after their 3-0 win against Liverpool. Isn't that a little bit scary, folks? Whew. Beating Liverpool 3-0? How confident are you feeling? Match facts. There have been over 2.5 goals scored in Brighton's last 8 games. Ooh. Most of them, I would imagine, to Brighton. Leicester have lost their last 4 matches. We are bottom of the form table with Bournemouth. Bournemouth are below us only because they've conceded 2 more goals. Brighton have scored at least 2 goals in 6 of their last 7 matches. Do you think there's any way we could just say, here's the 3 points, Brighton, don't embarrass us? Leicester are undefeated in their last 7 home matches against Brighton in all competitions. Well, that's going to change, isn't it? Really is. And we've got prediction here. Now, this is interesting because they have predicted Leicester look to end their 4-game losing run in the Premier League. Leicester haven't won a league game since returning from the World Cup. Brighton, big win against both Everton and Liverpool, mean they'll just sit 8 points off the top 4. Well done, Brighton. The Seagulls won 5-2 in the reverse fixture at the Amex. Yeah, sorry about that. In what turned out to be Graham Potter's last game in charge. It's not often used the last game against Leicester and they lose the manager because they've won. A similar result could follow with Brighton scoring goals for fun at the moment. And they have predicted a 3-1 win to Brighton. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised. Top players there, as you can see, for Leicester, Maddison, Tielemans and Castagna, March, McAllister and Trossard, who won't be in for Brighton. Goals, Maddison, Barnes and Tielemans. Well, Maddison and Barnes. I mean, everybody is complaining about Barnes. But look, guys, you know, he's our second best goal scorer. But again, he missed 2 sitters against Forest. Of course, we saw that. And it was a little bit like, oh, my God. But would we be saying the same if, well, Jamie Vardy is missing opportunities, isn't he, at the moment? And we're all kind of like, oh, nice, James. You know, Barnes is like every other player in that squad. He's suffering at the moment with confidence. What we need is a manager who is known to be a good man motivator. If only we had somebody like that. Assists, Vardy, Maddison and Daka. March, Gross and Welbeck are the top assists for Brighton, and they reckon that Brighton will score as a result of individual skill, and there will be a low number of cards shown. And that forecast is generated from clashes in team characteristics. Doesn't read good, does it? It doesn't read good at all. So let's have a look at the head-to-head. I just need to change the page for that. And here we go. So, previous meetings, the last 6 matches. Leicester have won 3 of them. Brighton have won 2 of them. And there's been 1 draw. 5-2 was the last one. I know. 5-2 to Brighton. We'll look at that in a bit more detail. Last January, about 12 months ago, it was a 1-1 draw. And then a 2-2 with penalties. I think that was the cup game, I think. But as you can see, all the results there. We scored 9 goals in that time. They scored 11. Of course, most of those in the in the 5-2 win in the last game. But Brighton haven't won away, though. They haven't won away against us. So I said that before. So that's something to hold on to, isn't it? Am I sounding desperate at all? Yeah, maybe just a little bit. Some match facts there. There have been over 2.5 goals scored in Brighton's last 8 games. Brighton have scored at least 2 goals in 6 of the last 7 matches. And I think we just read that about Leicester being undefeated in their last 7 games. Yeah, that's gonna change, isn't it? But let's have a look. Let's have a look at form. I mean, overall, we said before, overall 7th in the table of Brighton, Leicester 14, only 2 points off the relegation zone. And if you look at that, and I don't like using the last 6 games because 2 of those were pre-World Cup. But pre-World Cup, we were on a bit of a good run, only losing to Manchester City. But look who we were playing. Wolves, Everton, Leeds, Nottingham Forest. No disrespect to those clubs. At that time, they were not performing. So, let's not get too excited about our form pre-World Cup. Because when you look back, we didn't really beat anybody that we shouldn't have beaten. So, Leicester form at home. We are 18th out of 20. At home, we have played 9 and we've only won 2 of those. Our last 9 home games, we have only won 2. We have drawn 2 and we have lost 5. We've only scored 9, but we have only conceded 10. And we've got 8 points out of those. And we've lost our last 3 home games. Away, Brighton, they're the 5th most successful team at the moment away from home. It just gets worse, doesn't it? Just gets worse. They played the last 9 games away from home. They've won 5, they've drawn 1, and they've lost 3. They've scored 19 goals, but they have conceded 15, so that's a hope. But they've got 16 points. They've won their last 3 away games. So Leicester have lost their last 3 away games. Brighton have won the last 3 away games. I just don't know. Let me just show you that again because I don't think it came up, did it? So there is Leicester's home form, 18th in the form table for home games. Like I say, lost the last 3 away from home. Yep, you can see there 3 wins. The last 3 wins for Brighton, and they are 5th in the table for their away form. Okay, let's just give up and go home, shall we? These are our last games that we have played. So let's have a look how we've got on going into this game. There I look. Right. We lost to Forest. We lost to Newcastle. We managed to scrape a 1-0 win against Gillingham in the FA Cup. Fulham, we lost to. Liverpool, let's face it, we scored all the goals, we still lost. Newcastle, we lost. That is relegation form. I'm sorry, Leicester fans, but if things don't change, I don't know. I dread to think. Brighton, meanwhile, they've won. They beat Liverpool 3-0. And then we're next. We're next. It's going to be like bloody Rorke's Drift, isn't it, in the Zulu film? Let's hope it's not just Custer's last stand. Let's hope it's Roger's last stand. I was hoping he would be gone before this game, but he's still here. They put 5 past Middlesbrough in the Cup, in the FA Cup. They beat Everton 4-1. They did lose to Arsenal, in fairness, but I mean, Arsenal are flying at the moment. They beat Southampton 3-1, and they drew 0-0 in the League Cup, which obviously they didn't go very much further in. Terry says, "Hi, Chris. I was offered a ticket to the match, but I'm not going." Seriously? You were offered a ticket? Wow. But I don't blame you for not going. It's... And I thought you might have gone. I thought you might have gone just to say that you'd been to the game. But I understand. I do understand you not going. I really do. Let's have a look what they say about the clubs. Team characteristics. Leicester strengths. Yes, folks. Surprise, surprise. We do have some, but only 2. Shooting from direct free kicks. Very strong. Well, it is when we've got Maddison in the team, but he may be back, so fingers crossed. Creating long shot opportunities, strong. Again, I think you got to say that's mainly Tielemans and Maddison. But again, what gets me is, guys, and I don't know if you agree, but if we're so strong, good with long shots, is that because we're shit at close range shots and we're not getting close enough? I think so, because I don't think we're not getting close because we're really bad in the final third. Brighton strengths, look at all them. Shooting from direct free kicks, finishing scoring chances, attacking down the wings, creating chances using through balls, getting me balls mixed up there, creating chances through individual skill, and defending set pieces. Look at all those strengths. Your lad's not going. Right, I get it. You didn't fancy it then, Terry? Weaknesses. Well, we can do Brighton's. Why not? They haven't got any. Look at all ours. Defending against skillful players, we're weak. Protecting the lead, we're weak. Stopping opponents from creating chances, we're weak. Aerial duels, we're weak. Defending counterattacks, we're weak. Defending set pieces, well, apparently we're still weak. And defending against long shots, we're very weak. I mean, that is embarrassing. When you look at it like that, that is totally and utterly embarrassing. And not one weakness for Brighton and all those for us. Leicester style, long shots, short passes, and attempting through balls often. We're non-aggressive. Yeah, we are. We couldn't fight our way out of a bloody paper bag. And playing in their own half, because we very rarely do we get a chance to play it out. And of course, we play out from the back and we never get it over the halfway line. So that's fair enough. Brighton style, attacking through the middle, possession football, short passes, attempting through balls often. Opponents play aggressively against them. Not Saturday, they won't be. Then they're non-aggressive, and they've got a consistent first 11. We have, but only because the bell end won't actually pick anybody that is going to challenge. Match forecast: Brighton will score as a result of individual skill. Likely, there will be a low number of cards shown. Likely, it's not looking good for Leicester, is it? It really isn't looking good for Leicester. Just see, I think I might have a few more stats. Just see if I can find them at all. But I think that may be it. Yeah, I thought I had the they like to attack. Where they like to attack from. But I don't. I love the fact that they've got you can vote for your man of the match already. I mean, when you look at that, guys, why are we turning up? What is the point of us turning up? Because to be quite honest with you, they're going to beat us. We did the predictions the other day. I don't know what your predictions are, guys. Steve Lynex, and I haven't got all the players in yet, so I can only give you a few. But Steve Lynex has gone 2-0. He's gone back to his let's do reverse psychology thing, and if I pick Brighton, then Leicester might win. But he's gone 2-0 to Brighton. Brad he's gone 3-0 to Brighton. Unfortunately, I think Brighton will win. But I can't. I've had to go 1-1 because I can't predict against my team. So I've gone 1-1. Stick yours in. What do you think, Terry? What do you think it's going to be? We've already had one off Sean, and I'm just trying to remember what Sean said earlier. I think he went 2-0 to Brighton. Yeah. Oh no, he's gone 2-0 to Leicester. Wow, Sean. Nice one, mate. I wish I had your confidence. Unfortunately, I don't. No, I shouldn't. I should stop doing this show because it just absolutely depresses me every time. But look, this is what's coming up in about an hour and a half.
Coming up next on Leicester Till I Die TV.
Nine o'clock, we will be back for the proper preview. Craig will be joining me, and we will also have Chloe in, British Tea Hater, on Twitter. She is a huge Brighton fan, and we'll be chatting the match with her. And I'm sure she is going to be a very happy young lady at the moment with the way that they are performing. And so she should be. 3-1 Brighton, says Terry. Yeah. 1-1, told you, bro. Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. We could be in the relegation zone this time on Saturday night. I'm really not looking forward to it. But hey ho. It's football. There's worse things going on in the world today, is there not? So we're going to be back at 9 o'clock. We're going to do the proper full preview. But take care. Thanks for watching this one. I say it's just a quick half hour just to go through the stats with you. And I will see you at 9 o'clock. Thanks very much to everybody that was in the chat. And thank you to everybody that was watching. And like I say, I'll see you at 9 o'clock with the full preview. Take care, guys. See you then.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
Leicester Till I Die TV. They think it's all over.